Hi everyone, welcome to Math Moment with Mr. Dustin. I'm Mr. Dustin. So today we'll be discussing mean, median, mode, and range. And these are some statistical um, things that you can do to calculate center and spread of statistics. And so we'll be looking at data sets, and so that's what we're going to be, those are our examples. All of them are data sets. And at the end of this video, there is a formative assessment that is available to take. The link is in the description below. And at the end of the formative assessment, there's a code you may enter to earn a virtual visitor badge. So I encourage anyone who's interested to take the quiz and earn the badge. So yeah, enjoy the video. All right, so today we'll be discussing a subfield of mathematics known as statistics. And some of the basic principles of statistics are mean, median, mode, and range. And that's what we're going to go over in today's video. We're going to discuss what each of these four concepts is, and then we're going to look at some examples of how to find them, basically. And so the mean is what we'll start with, and the mean is also known as an average. And so how you find an average or a mean is you add up all the numbers given to you in a data set, and you divide by the number of numbers you have. So for example, we have a data set over here on the left. So 12, 15, 9, 18, 22, 25, and 5. We're going to add all of those together and then divide by 7, as there are 7 terms. So if we add them all together, that gets us 90. We'll say total equals 90. And then we're going to say, oh, this is not 90, sorry, 96. And then we'll say 96 divided by 7 equals 13.714. And I just rounded 3 decimal places. It actually has many more, but for simplicity, I rounded to the 714 here. So this would be the mean of this data set. And what does this mean? Well, no pun intended. This is a numerical middle of your data, basically. And so if you have numbers that are much higher than everything else, that mean is going to be pulled so that it's higher, than it would have been without that number. That is how that would work. And then if you have a number that's much lower than all your other data points, then your mean will be lower than what it would be if you didn't have that one really low number. And so yeah, it's a numerical average. And so let's look at this other example here. 5, 15, 10, 20, 15, 10, 15. So if we add all of them together, this one, the total is 90. And so then we will say 90 divided by 7 equals 12.857. And again, I rounded to the 3rd decimal place here. Nearest thousandth is what that would be. And so you can see these are not whole numbers, and that's okay, because it's like an arithmetic thing. You add them together and then divide, and you don't know that it's going to divide out evenly. So that is mean, an average, a numerical average. And let's go on to mode. Mode is a pretty easy one. Basically, it is the number that appears most frequently in your data set. So we have the same sets again. I just used them as we're finding different things for each set. So we have 12, 5, 9, 18, 22, 25, and 5. Well, what appears most frequently in this set? It would be the number 5, because you can see that 5 appears at the end, and it's the second one there. So the mode for this data set is 5. How about the one on the right over here? Well, we have 5 again, but that only appears once. We have 10, which appears twice, and we have 15, which appears 3 times. So because 15 appears 3 times, we are going to use that as our mode. So the mode for this set equals 15. And that is all there is to mode. The only thing you have to be careful about is that there may be more than one mode. For example, if this data set here had 3 10s and 3 15s, you would have two modes, the 10 and the 15. So that's how you would compensate for something having, a tie as the most of one number, if that makes sense. So in this case, we only have one mode, and that's 15. And so that is all there is to mode. And now we're going to be going into a break. So we will come back and talk about median and range after that. Okay, so for the break today, I'm going to be featuring the library's nonfiction section. And our nonfiction books are labeled with numbers and letters. This is the Dewey Decimal System. Today we're going to be focusing on the numbers specifically, and I'll be connecting them to our concepts that we have been learning today. I can't compare them to mean because there are way too many books to actually do that, but I can do median, mode, and range, and I'll be looking at it by hundreds. So for example, the 100s, the 200s, the 300s, etc. And so we'll just kind of be comparing them by how many shelves there are of them. In other words, like how many stacks, I guess. So you can see directly in front of me, there's like one stack, and above it is a sign nonfiction. And then to the right of that sign, there's another one. And so I'm gonna be including 11 stacks of nonfiction materials, and let's go over there. First, we will identify the range of the nonfiction. So I'm gonna go over to the smallest one, and then we'll look at the largest one. Let's see, so we can see there are signs here, 0 to 227, and etc. And so if we go over here, this is the smallest one we have. Let's see, 001.54. So that is our lowest. Now, if we go to the largest, it'll be way down this way. So many stacks of nonfiction. And almost there. Our biographies make up the end section right here. And so these count as 900s. They're all 900s. But at the end of the non-biography 900s, we have this book right here. And it is 999.6. So we could say the range is about 998, because I just kind of rounded. This is 999 minus 1. I rounded down. You could, in this case, you could round them both up and it would work out the same. So about 998. Now, if we look at the nonfiction more based on the stacks themselves, we'll see we have some 900s here. So we're gonna go in and find the median. And there are 11 stacks, so that means I have to go 6 in to get the median. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Our median would be right in here, and you can see that it is within the 600s on either side here. So our median, I could say, is the 600s, just as an estimate here. And then the mode, now that's gonna be either 900s or 600s, and I'm going by how many stacks they appear in. So for 600s, we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if we go to the 900s, and notice there are only 2 for 700s, and then we have, I guess, 2 for 800s. But here's 1, 2, 3 for 900s. So I can say that the mode is the 600s. And so that's just kind of an easy way to apply statistics, or our statistical concepts that we've been learning. And yeah, so that has been our break. And now next time you visit nonfiction, you can take a look for yourself and even go in and try to find the exact middle one, which would be very difficult considering how many books we have in nonfiction. But yeah, so we'll get back to learning about what median and range actually are. But yeah, Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the break. So let's move on to median and range. We're going to go over median first, and this is going to be finding the literal center of your data. And so when we did the mean, we found a numerical center, if you will, and then the median will actually find like more of a physical center for your data. So the best thing you can do to find median, the first thing that you want to do is reorganize your numbers so that they are in numerical order. So we're going to reorganize the first set. We'll make it 5, 5, 9, 12, 18, 22, and 25. And what you'll do is you will cross out the least and the greatest, and then do it again. And you do this until you have reached one that is in the middle. And so the middle one, in this case, is 12. And now since we had an odd number of values, it worked out to be one of the data points. We'll do the other example, and then I'll show you what happens when you have an even amount of data points. So let's do the same process on the second one. We want to reorganize it, so it's going to be 5, 5, or not 5, 5. It'll be 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 20. And so we will do the same process. We'll cross out the least, we'll cross out the greatest, and repeat until we are left with just the one value in the middle. And in this case, it is 15. So the median equals 15. Now, what happens if we have, like, let's say 8 values? So I will quickly throw together another set here that is similar to the one we just did, but I've added another 5 onto it. So what happens if we try to find the median of this set? Well, let's see. 5 and 20, we cross out, and then we cross out 5 and 15, 10 and 15, and we're left with 10 and 15. If we cross out both of these, we've used all of our options. So what we have to do is kind of a tiebreaker. We have to set up all the numbers between 10 and 15 and do this process again to find the middle between 10 and 15. It's the middle of the middle. That's what we're finding now. So we'll cross these out. And we're left with 12 and 13. Now I'm going to save you the trouble of going into decimals. When you have two whole numbers like this, and there's nothing, like there aren't whole numbers in between them, you're going to want to do 12.5, basically. And that is halfway between 12 and 13. Now, I could have found this by using the mean, actually. You can find the mean between 10 and 15, and it will show you what's in the middle of them. And so if you do, let's see, mean of 10 and 15. So we know the total will add to 25, and there are only 2 values. So now we divide by 2, and that equals 12.5. That is another simple way to find the middle of the middle if you're stuck like this. It does not work if you try to find it like using the greatest and the smallest. It doesn't always work out like that. In this case, it actually does. No, it doesn't. Sorry. It only does if you say divide by 2, but you wouldn't. So an average does not work like a median. It only works as a tiebreaker for your median. So with that in mind, let's move on to range. And this is the last concept. It is fairly simple. This one, we're also going to want to have them in numerical order. It'll make things easiest. And actually, if you are told to put these into numerical, or if you're told to find the mean, median, mode, and range, the best thing you can do for yourself is to put them in numerical order like I'm doing here. Because what will happen is you'll have them in order and you'll be able to find the median and range and even the mode really easily. because in the, you'll notice the mode has all of them together, right? We said the mode was 15 in this second data set, and all the 15s are right there, and you can see that there are 3 of them. So the range is the greatest minus the smallest. So that's really all it is. So if we do that in the first one here, 25 minus 5 is 20. And that is our range. And then the second one, 20 minus 5 equals 15. And that is also our range. And that's all there is to range. You just have to subtract the smallest from the largest, and we can see when they're in order like this, which one is which, and that is your range. And it kind of, it's a measure of spread. It's how far the data are spread. And so that's why it's kind of a range. It's a synonym almost. And so that is all for today. We did mean, median, mode, and range. There is a formative assessment on it, and there is also a code at the end of the formative assessment that you can enter for a virtual visitor badge. So I encourage you to take that to earn the virtual visitor badge. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.